Well, as you guys can see, the stump is gone. I debated back and forth on renting some equipment. I priced a couple of tracked skid loaders off a rental, and unless I rented them from just a nobody off Facebook Marketplace, it looked like I was going to be paying about $700 to rent one from any of the local big rental companies, and that was just more than I was expecting to spend. And I got to thinking, man, I bet you I could probably hire someone with equipment to come take this out for cheaper or close to that same price. So I started thinking, if someone would come do the rest of this work for $1,000 or less, and me not have to deal with the rental and then doing the work myself on a machine that I really don't even know how to operate, I'll do that. So I found a guy and his brother. They're two linemen that they said that they decided to start a dirt company on the side, advertising on Facebook. Called them, they were able to get on it in 2 days. They took care of everything, and in 4 hours, it's really just one guy. His brother just came by for a minute to come take a look at everything, but one guy, they brought in a brand new mini excavator. I actually think this is the first project they've had it on. And then a T87, I think, Bobcat tracked skid loader. Like I said, got it all taken care of in about 4 hours total. Really great work. I made some plans on them with them to do some more up here on my road that I made last year. I'm gonna get them to tighten that up, widen it out, and make it not so steep. Now that I see the kind of work they do and what it costs, I think it justifies itself to get some professionals in here to do some stuff. But so they pulled the stump, drug it over there, and then they cut this hillside back another about 2 feet. So obviously, as you can see, I had plenty of room to dig my footer, as you'll see in the remaining portion of the video. I once again, just like my last video, never recorded an intro, so here I am at the end of the week recording an introduction. But I think we got ourselves in pretty good shape, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a 2-foot footing for the retaining wall, just because that sounds pretty good to me. 10 foot right there. So then if we go a foot in front and a foot behind, we're like that. So there's my footing. Let's continue that. Mark at 9. Mark at 11, mark at 9, mark at 11. Man, that's nice having all that extra room. I don't know if you guys remember what that looked like before, but when I had my mark at 10 foot, which was like right here, that was like the wall was, I was still like on the side of the wall. So that is perfect. I'm gonna be able to trench that out so nice and even and get my dirt set over to the side, get it nice and level, and have plenty of room to work on this retaining wall. All right, well, I think that's a pretty proper start on that footer. I went 2 buckets wide, a bucket-ish deep. I obviously got some cleaning up to do. I'm gonna get the tractor in here and scoop all this that I dug out, and then I can kind of clean this up a little bit, get some better measurements, make sure I'm looking good below the frost line. I know my width is good. I'll just have to check my depth, make sure I'm, you know, somewhat level and deep enough below the frost line that we're good. And I'm sure if I don't answer it in this video, some people will ask, why didn't I have them go ahead and dig this trench for me? The answer to that is I didn't think to ask before he was gone. I don't really know why that thought never crossed my mind. He probably wouldn't have even added anything to the cost to dig this and get all this dirt out of here, but retaining wall trench wasn't on the brain yet. So you guys probably know by now my plans change by the minute, but I've done some updating to my ideas here versus what I had in the last video. I started thinking it might be more beneficial, rather than doing a trench or a ditch here in front of the retaining wall on the bottom side, to continue that concrete drain all the way up and around. As long as something up there is stopping all the water coming out of the field, that ditch, if I continue it, I don't really need a significant ditch down here because this is only going to be this 10 feet off the side of the house that this is catching. So what I'm thinking about doing, I think this is going to make more sense overall in the long run. It gives me more real estate down here that I can use, and that if I continue that drain all the way up and around, I can actually continue it all the way around to the road that I cut in to go up to the field. That will protect the entire lower portion of the property from all the water that runs off the hill up there. And then I can do the retaining wall, and I can just cut in a French drain right here in front of the retaining wall. And as of right now, what I'm thinking for the retaining wall, to make sure that it's significant enough to withstand, even though this wall has actually ended up being shorter than I thought it was going to be, it's only going to be about 3 feet tall. Since the ground slopes up so aggressively immediately after that, I don't think it's fair to just call it a 3 foot tall retaining wall and build it to those standards. So I still want to make it pretty robust. So what I'm thinking of doing is pouring a concrete footer down here with rebar sticking up, taller than I expect the end result of the wall to be. Every, I don't know, several feet, 4 feet or so, I'll do research on appropriate spacing. And then using retaining wall blocks, the ones that are shaped with the big front lip in the front to where they all stack back as you stack up, and their hollow foot core. And then everywhere where the rebar is stubbing up, pouring concrete from the top in all those, filling the rest in with gravel, whatever ends up seeming appropriate. But I definitely want to make sure that this is strong enough to withstand the forces of this hill. Now that we're this deep, all this soil over here is clay. That's why he had such a hard time getting that stump out yesterday. It was clay everywhere around it, and it is so dense. Man, every one of these little blocks like this, it's like probably 40 pounds. Or I don't know, maybe more. Like I was trying to scoop some of this out with the shovel where it's falling back in the trench as I'm getting it back out with the tractor. And man, they are heavy. The backhoe can't hardly push into it. I was getting little scratches basically the whole way. But I am really, really liking the way that this is turning out so far. This is better. He cut it back a little bit farther than I asked him to, and that's helping so much. Oh, and you may have noticed, I ended up digging a little bit farther back since he cut it back so far. I thought, well, the dirt's already out of the way. I'm gonna end up with about 11 feet off the house to the front of the retaining wall, which is very nice. That's gonna be a whole lot better. I mean, the more room we can have next to the house, the better, obviously. I mean, that gives me plenty of room to work. That gives me plenty of room to use whatever I end up putting on this side of the house. I haven't decided yet if this is just gonna be like, if I'm gonna try to landscape it and make it just like a grassy area, or if I'll do a little garden, or I could do a rock garden. I don't know, there's all types of possibilities of what I could do right here. Oh, and I had a few comments about these in the last video. So people thought these were trees. Not trees. These are these plants. We've always called them milkweeds. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but they're definitely a weed. Yeah, I definitely let them grow up a little bit more than I should have. But definitely not a tree. But I actually found a local guy right down the street that's selling, he's got like a field full of retaining wall blocks. I don't know what the heck. I don't know if they just like way overbought them for a project, or if they've, he's selling them for a pretty decent price. So I think I'm probably gonna pick those up maybe sometime this week or next weekend. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Really the only thing I don't like about that retaining wall block plan is if I ever do extend this farther this way, I don't know if I'll be able to find the exact same match retaining wall blocks in the future. And I do worry about having a weird transition from this style of block to the next style. But you really have to worry about that with basically any style of retaining wall block. The wall is all built and backfilled and everything. I'll get up here, I'll cut up that big log and get it up into the field where I can get back behind that stump. And then I can get up here with the tractor and the backhoe and I can clear all this out and dig a little bit of a trench. And then I can take and pour concrete from that ditch and continue it up and all the way around like the way that I think they should have done it originally. But I think that's just about it for excavation. Just got a little bit of tidying up to do with a shovel. Make sure that I'm somewhat level down there, and then I can beat in some little markers and pour my concrete footing down there and get those blocks in here, build that wall up and backfill it, do the French drain in front of it, do the French drain against the house, pour my upper drain, and that'll be it for now on this project, I believe. Then I can move into the bedroom remodel that I've been waiting on. So I know this video is not too interesting, but I like to give these little update videos for the subscribers that are invested. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for your support so much, and thanks for watching.